Barcelona completely outplayed Real Valladolid and made a statement win by 7-0 scoreline. You can clearly see the new Barca under Hansi Flick, who presses for full 90 minutes and never stop running. They are performing on another level. Let's have a look at the tactics against Real Valladolid.
Casado Pedri and the turns.
Flick opted for the youth player to replace the injured Marc Bernal. Up front, a double step with Pedri and Dani Olmo, and the wings for Lamine and Raphinha. And Barca put in their best and most complete performance so far this season. Without Marc Bernal, Barca began to build their game with 4 instead of 3. This is a typical image that was repeated in each of the team's static starts. The positional play in the midfield was spectacular. Cassid was in charge of balancing, Dani Olmo moving between the lines, and Pedri of receiving, turning, and generating. His pressing turns to overcome and provide continuity without losing the ball are one of the great keys to Barca's current form. Pedri, playing well and in the second position, makes a difference in the game. With 5 passes, he was the player who had the most contact with Lewandowski. Cubers breaks the molds. Having a center back like Poke Cubers would be pure gold for any team, but for a team like Barca, even more so, because he has a unique ability to overcome lines with passes inside. With him in the starting 11, opponents can now set up their defensive block as low as they want, and his foot will eventually find the gap, no matter how small. In the 61 minutes he played, he completed 68 of the 72 passes he made, 30 in the opposition half. But the most remarkable thing is that a total of 15 served to knock out 2 rival lines in one go, the most in the match. He provided the assist for the goal, created another great chance, and made another key pass. Raphinha, the excellent agitator, the 1-0 was forged in a positional attack with a change of pace, something that all attacks have to do damage. But to do so, there has to be a breakaway. That is why in football, players who break into space like Raphinha are so important. Due to his direction, pace, and aggressiveness in his run, he is the player in the squad who makes the most and best runs. A virtue that he demonstrated by making a diagonal run from the left where he played yesterday and then finishing from the outside. He did exactly the same thing in the 5-0 play. He completed a great game with a hat-trick. Full backs and pressure. Little has been said about the importance of full backs. The form of both Kound and Balde is spectacular. They are knowing how to combine their defensive and attacking tasks and are choosing the moments to surprise with fast and powerful retreats. As you can see on the heat map, they have improved a lot in this regard. It is true that this forces them to cover a lot of ground, but they have the legs to do it. Their role in high pressing is worth highlighting. With Lewandowski free in the middle and the wingers jumping over the center backs, they are the ones in charge of jumping over the opposing full backs if the opponent is able to turn the game around. They are one of the keys to Barca's fantastic start to the season. The magic of Lamine, the young player from the youth team, is reiterated. As usual, he started on the right wing, and as is also usual, he was the player who generated the most play in the final third. It is very difficult to be the best without scoring any goals in a match that ended 7-0. 2 goal assists, 3 big chances created, 2 key passes, recital of feints and threats to rivals. At 17 years old, he is the most differential player in Barca and probably in the league. Cassid's game, as we have said before, he played a balancing role by maintaining a position in the central lane. With the ball, he also offered himself in this lane and played easily to give continuity to the game. 63 of 64 in passes. He left the creation for another. Defensively, his best virtue, he was attentive and focused on his surveillance and very good at cutting for recoveries. Flick's management and idea, the coach's work, is enormously commendable. In just a few weeks, he has been able to convey the nuances of his way of understanding the game. His Barca is recognizable with the ball, dominating, intense, and, at the same time, vertical. His squad management is magnificent. Let's have a look at data. Barca allowed 8.6 passes for each defensive action. 57.9% of the times Barcelona used high pressure after losing the ball. In terms of creativity, possession, 75 possession record in the opponent's final third field tilt, 49 minutes. Most touches in rival area, 41. Best passing effectiveness, 91.6%.
What are your thoughts on first for La Liga games? Can you see the difference in playing style and the other things? Let us know. Subscribe for more.